This is Wednesday, the 26th of February 2020, and you're tuned to Garden City Radio, Port Harcourt. It is the radio station for you and I. It's groove and style, style and groove, whichever one comes for you first. It's 5 minutes past 10 in the morning, and this is Annkio Briggs, and this is Saving the Niger Delta with Annkio Briggs. A lot has happened, and like I've always said, maintained, things happen and take place in Nigeria, and we discuss it and bring it up as it concerns us first in the Niger Delta, as it concerns us as Rivers State people, and of course as the people that produce the wealth of the nation. Yesterday, something happened in Port Harcourt that came to my notice quite a bit late, because I didn't get to that part of Port Harcourt yesterday. And then so many other things, like the sentencing of Metu, the former PDP spokesperson, to 7 years in prison. It seems as if it's only people from either Niger Delta or people from, if you like, the South, or people from the Southeast that are found to be corrupt in Nigeria at this particular point, and actually do get sentenced to prison terms. And then, of course, the issue of what happened in Rivers State yesterday. Now there is so many different stories going on about what happened yesterday that led to the blocking of Aba Road near Presidential in Port Harcourt. From my understanding, the first thing I want to raise is the fact that I had thought by information that protest is banned in Rivers State, particularly in Port Harcourt. People are not allowed to protest for whatever the reason is. And it is also that before you protest for anything, because protest itself is a right, is a basic human right, but you are to inform the police in the state through the Commissioner of Police before you undertake any protest. And so it seems like some of these protests are now being restricted. I believe that when the protest was held about the Ikoku 4, the people were arrested when they went on the street. Now, I'm not clear whether the people that carried out the protest to block Aba Road yesterday were arrested, or whether they actually did go to the police commissioner to inform the police commissioner that they were going to undertake a protest. Now, I make it a responsibility not to discuss anything without either getting real and direct information from a source that tomorrow I can quote and call upon if they need be to clear whatever I would have said publicly. That's one. So I actually have gotten in touch with the right people in Rivers State government. For now, I will not mention them, but I've gotten in touch with some people to find out what really transpired yesterday. And the official position I have been given, which I will mention names if need be in the future, if I think there is a need for it, I will. But if I don't think there is a need for it, I will not. But I am assured that what happened yesterday was the task force against street trading, which is a body that has been set up by the Rivers State government. Therefore, it is an official body and it is a legal body that has been set up by the government of Rivers State. Now, if you live and work in Port Harcourt, then the issue of street trading will not be news. The task force going after street trading will not be news to you. But I've also said on this program last year, I believe, that I had received calls from indigenes of Rivers State and indigenes, some other Igbo people from Abia and things like that, that have complained that the task force seem to not be able to handle people from other ethnic nationalities like they do people from Rivers State. Try to mention it and address it. That's one. Two, the fact that Presidential Hotel is a government business. It's a government hotel. It belongs to Rivers State government. That's one. The land and the property around the area where Presidential is and where the people who buy and sell dollars are operating from is Rivers State government land. And I have asked them before, that is Rivers State government, the people in charge. And the truth is that they have tried to, the task force have tried to engage, that is the word they use, that they have tried to engage the people who are selling and buying dollars at GRA, at Presidential area. Now, if you know Presidential area, you will also know that this is a residential area. And if you have ever driven by Presidential, Birabi Street, the Polo Club, you will also see very clearly that there are people, strangers, who are trading in whatever they are trading in, sitting on plastic chairs in front of people's houses, under trees in front of people's houses. These are people's private property. And so there has to be something fundamentally wrong with that and unacceptable. That's one. Two, the place where they trade and sell dollars is not their land. It has not been allocated to them officially by Rivers State government to trade in dollar there. If they want to trade in dollar, people who trade in dollar, they are in Lagos, they are in Abuja, they have offices, they have license for bureau de change that they are allowed to trade in dollars. Now, I see no reason whatsoever why the people in Port Harcourt think that they should have any kind of preferential treatment. If the Rivers State government says you're not allowed to trade in the streets, whether you're carrying pure water or you're standing somewhere selling dollars, the law applies to you. It doesn't differentiate from you just because for whatever reasons that you have abrogated to yourself. Now, I have asked what happened yesterday. What happened yesterday, according to the official position I have been given, is that the task force went to, of course, clear people who are trading illegally on the streets at Presidential area, which is their area of a function. That is what they were set up for. And people started running. They were running. And it is in the process of this that this man fell down and eventually died. Now, I've also found out that the task force to enforce illegal street trading in Rivers State is under the office of the Secretary to Government. Now, that means that it is under the office of Honorable Tami Danagogo. If that be the case, then I want to use this radio program, this opportunity, to call on the Secretary to State Government and the Police Commissioner to forestall any further incursion between the people, between the task force who are legitimately doing their business and the people who are doing their own business illegitimately or illegally, so that we don't degenerate into North-South, we don't degenerate into Christian, Muslim, we don't degenerate into any other situation, because right now the situation in Nigeria is well heated up, if not overheated. It's very heated up right now with what is happening in Delta and every other place in the Niger Delta. There is tension all over the place. It is very, very important that the Rivers State government takes it as a responsibility to conduct, demand, and we the people of Rivers State, the citizens of Rivers State, and the people that live and work in Rivers State peacefully, demand that the Secretary to Government, together with the Commissioner of Police, should have an autopsy conducted. We need an autopsy conducted, not the type of autopsy that is associated to the E-Crack squad and the type of report that seemingly was given by the police spokesperson to the people of Rivers State and the world. That somebody on whom they didn't conduct an autopsy is claimed to have been have died from low blood pressure or sugar or whatever the case may be. So an independent and true autopsy should be carried out, and the Rivers State government and the police should pay for it, to ascertain what killed this man that died, that led to the shutting down of Aba Road, no matter how momentarily it was. Nobody should take laws into their own hands. This is how these things start, from Okada drivers gathering when somebody is hurt. Thank God that at least Okada and things like that are banned in Rivers State well before this time. So it is very, very important that we get to the bottom of what happened, so that the speculation of what didn't happen. This was how we were told Governor Wike brought down a mosque that has now turned out to be a lie, a propaganda to create a problem. I've received calls from people around Slaughter area to some activities that is going on in Slaughter that really within that area and that local government area that should not go on, that is actually making the local government chairman of that area look as if he's not in control of the local government area, and that strangers are now in control of the local government area where the abattoir, where they slaughter cattle and things like that. So these are things that we must stand up for and speak up for. If somebody is running and he collapses, if somebody is doing something wrong and he's running, even if he was doing something right and he's running and he collapses and he dies, he would have died from something. But to say that in the process of him running, and because it involved the illegal street trading task force, that therefore he was either beaten or that the task force is responsible for it. No, it is not. And that is likely and is possible to create tension in the state, and we do not need it. In the process of finding, trying to source for information on this, I also heard that sometime last week or thereabout, in the evening, that a young lady was stabbed to death while someone from a particular ethnic nationality was trying to steal her bag from her. You see, this type of things are the things that I personally believe that we have to discuss, because if we don't discuss it and bring it out in the open, it becomes speculative and people add their own salt and pepper. That is why I called someone as far up as I can call, that has given me this information about how this thing that happened between the task force and between the task force doing its legal obligation to Rivers State government and people, and in the process someone unfortunately died. People will die and people will be born. We all don't want it to be us. That's a given. But you cannot hold somebody responsible if that person is not responsible for what happened. And to now take go on the streets and shut down Aba Road and put the lives of other ordinary Rivers people going about their daily business at risk, that thing could have degenerated into something far worse than protest. People's car could have been smashed and all kinds of stuff. Hoodlums could have taken over the process. Thank God it didn't go any further than that. But we need the Rivers State government, the office of the secretary to the state, and the police commissioner owes themselves and us, we the people, the taxpayers and the electorate, a responsibility for us to know the truth. And even the people that are trading in dollar over the opposite presidential, that the place they are trading does not belong to them. And if the Rivers State government have already offered them a place, maybe where they should rent or whatever, then they should take that place. Because if truly you want to buy dollar and they have moved from opposite the presidential, anywhere they are, you will look for them. And then you're hanging around in front of people's homes. You take plastic chair and you sit down in front of people's homes to sell dollar, to trade. I don't know who you are. If I own those homes, nobody will sit in front of my house and sell something. I will not allow it. You know, so we need to nip things in as they start. We need to stop it, and people must obey the law. They are breaking the law, and as a matter of fact, they constitute a nuisance as far as I'm concerned. They constitute a nuisance because they are just gathered there. And when you're driving by, whether you want to buy dollar, you don't want to buy dollar, they don't know. If there is traffic, they come and tap on your door, on your window, and they literally harass you to find out whether you want to buy dollar. If you want to buy dollar, will you buy it from all 6 or 12 or 10 people? No, you will only buy it from one person. And yet, if your car just slow down, you will see 10 people, 5 people approach you. No, I mean, if you want to buy, they must have a designated place where it is a place where you know you go and you buy bureau de change. You cannot go to Kaduna or Kano and see Niger Delta people selling cocoa gari and granite there in front of people's residential area. For what now? You know, so These are the things. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. If you cannot do it somewhere else, why are you allowed to do it in another place? It constitutes a nuisance, and it actually constitutes, it encourages crime, and it constitutes all kinds of offensive reaction.